Welcome back to the final episode of Where Superhoops Walk. It's 39 weeks. We're nearly done. We're talking this week about Marti's sad exit, and I think we should say thank you personally, but I might be wrong there. We'll get Jared and Michael to correct us. But we're also talking about just why have QPR been so good away from home this season, and we're talking about Charlie Kelman and what are our season highlights to begin with. We'll also talk briefly about that Sunderland game as well, but we have to talk about the biggest news of the week, Jawad, which is Marti on gardening leave. Who saw this one coming? As he, I don't want to paint him as being a bit of a nuisance in all this, but he hasn't come across well. Where are the fan base now? Do you think?
I think the fan base is pretty much split down the middle. Those that blame Marti, those that blame Christian Nuri and the board, and I don't want to be the person that sits on the fence, but I don't think you can judge the situation because we haven't got any information from anybody. The club have been quiet. Marti's obviously had to be quiet, so I think it's really hard to kind of throw blame at either side right now. I'm sure more's going to come out. It's been quite a quiet since that news broke. It's been quite a quiet week, actually. I thought that we would have had more. I think West Brom coming out basically and saying that he's not on their shortlist, I think that threw a big spanner in the works. And I don't know what the chances are, but I wouldn't put it past the club to still have him in charge at the start of next season. I just got a feeling, yeah.
I think there was rumours on, I don't know if it was on Saturday morning or Friday night, Michael, that he might even be at Sunderland. He might have been time to come back, and that didn't come to pass. But are we in danger of forgetting something, though, here, Michael, in all of this? I understand fans' anger, but let's just rewind the clock back, shall we? This is a tweet from 2004. Joined a club in free fall, sat 6 points away from safety, had a complete lack of depth in the squad, not like the depth he's got now. Didn't have any consistent goal scorers at all, and yet kept that side, which I think, no disrespect at the time, and Jared will know this, was one of the worst Championship sides for a long time that Ainsworth left. And he kept you up. So do we need to be a bit more respectful than what we're being? You're muted, Michael, sorry.
Yeah, no, I think we're all thankful for what he did last season. He was night and day compared to Ainsworth and Critchley in the style of football we had us playing, and he got all the fans behind him. I think the lack of communication from the club is strange. I feel like the interview by Xavi Khan before the game against Sunderland threw a few curveballs in there. It was almost like they were throwing him under the bus in the sense that some people think that there are bigger clubs that may or may not be in this league next season, that he's sort of got his head turned. But I don't understand why we've got Xavi Khan as interim manager, as I think he'll join Marti when he goes. So I'm thankful for what he did for us last season, but there's something really strange going on. And I feel like the way it's all being handled is a bit messy, to be honest.
Yeah. It hasn't started the rumour mill going, though, on the next QPR manager, Joe. I don't know if you've been reading any social media takes on it, but Richie Wellens, who, of course, stands could be in the division anyway with Leighton Orient anyway, is rumoured to be interested, as is Ryan Mason, who's the hot favourite for the West Brom job. Jason Tyndall, the guy at Newcastle, who's always been wanting to get his face on things. I mean, it's a tough one to call, but if Marti was to go, have you got any idea at this moment in time who you'd want?
I would hope, after what happened with Mick Beale and the situation that we found ourselves in the past, I would have thought the club are pretty well prepared for a situation like this. I think everybody kind of knew that there would be clubs interested in Marti from the end of last season. So I think the board will have names. I don't think it'll be the same names that the fans would want or expect. Someone like Richie Wellens deserves a chance at a higher level if Orient don't make it up. Obviously, we've got Kelman coming back from there as well. Gary O'Neill's name's been mentioned, but I think he'll be holding out for bigger and better things. There's a guy called Pierre Sage, who I think was at Lyon, who's favourite at the moment, but I think it's a really hard one to call. And I think basically the situation at the club, I think Marti wants out in the cheapest way possible, and QPR want him out, trying to get the most money. And I'm not sure either side's going to come out looking good over the next few weeks.
Yeah, this all could have been avoided, Michael, couldn't it, though?
I think it was coming. I think the ambition that he has is evident, and I think with his record of not really spending more than 2 seasons at a club, I feel like when he signed that new contract, for a lot of us, it was us knowing that the club were just trying to protect the asset that we had, and that he was going to be on his way out kind of soon anyway, I thought.
Okay. Let's talk about Kelman then. We've already mentioned him. My slide's gone a little bit wrong here, but there we go. League One top goal scorer, Michael. And he's your player. But now anyway, Leighton might be promoted. Not certain, but does he deserve a chance as your main striker next season?
He deserves more than a chance. I think we would be crying out for a player like him if he wasn't ours. I think 21 goals, 5 assists in League One is impressive numbers, and I think he'd be our number 9 next season, especially if we do give Richie Wellens a chance. I think either way he'll be our number 9 going into next season. I think he's full of confidence. He's young, and I think he does want to make it at QPR. So I hope he does start next season.
Let's talk about a few other players as well, shall we then? We can't finish the season off by talking about one of the... we got lots of hot prospects, Jared, but Alfie Lloyd has certainly launched himself onto the Championship scene this season. Charlie says, great season, Alfie, future star. Jack says, robbed of goal of the season, of course, as well. Another future star there.
I think with Kelman coming back, I think it depends what they do with Frey as well. I would say a season on loan somewhere would do him the world of good. I'm not convinced that right now he's good enough to play, and I think someone at that age, it's not good for them just to be sat on the bench as third or fourth choice striker. I think he needs to go out on loan to a League One or League Two team and have a season where we can see if he's good enough. I think for himself, he can see if he's good enough. I'll be amazed if the club have him with the first team squad next season. And that's not to knock the effort that he's put in the season, because he has worked hard. He's come on a sub a few times and really, really had a positive impact. But I think he would have been out on loan this season if things had gone better. But I think he's got a chance, but there's a lot of work to do.
Where do you think you guys would be if only away games counted in the league, Michael?
I would say 10th, 9th.
Yeah, you'd be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Bizarrely.
I'm really surprised at that.
It's head scratching, isn't it? Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday have got a better record away from home, and so have you as well. If we look at the home fixtures, you're then obviously right at the bottom. Why is this then, Jared? I mean, last year you couldn't buy a win away. If you remember, you went on that horrible stretch. Was it for a year and a bit of not winning away from home? And now here we are, 7 wins, 6 draws. You've only been beaten 10 times, which is, not a bad feat given the quality of the teams in it. What do you put this down to?
Maybe less 12:30 kickoffs. We seem to be playing at 12:30 at home all the time. I think it's surprising, because I think the way that Marti wants to play is to have the ball, but it feels like some of those away games maybe we've kind of not had much possession. I'm trying to think of some of the wins. Obviously, Preston and Oxford and Sunderland recently, and they were quite, apart from Sunderland, quite high pressure games for both teams. Cardiff earlier in the season was a big one. I think the more interesting stat is we've only beaten, I think, 2 of the top 10 or top 12 teams this season. So again, it shows where the work needs to be done. I think most of those away wins, apart from Sunderland, were against the teams that are near the bottom or relegated. So yeah.
Okay. Right, we're going to bring in our Watford fan for this next question, if that's okay. He doesn't know it yet, so let's bring him in. Hi, Aaron. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Yeah, good, thank you.
You can probably guess what this topic's going to be about. Let's have a quick look at what Jameson. So, yes, Joad. Luton Town relegated. Are you going to? First of all, are you surprised, and are you going to miss them?
At the start of the season, yeah, I think Preston fans earlier mentioned that it looked like in the Premier League they had built a squad that was going to be good enough to kind of have a real shot at coming back up, and it obviously hasn't happened. I think the game against us in August was quite a big turning point for them. Losing at home, they had a couple of big chances, and I go back to that podcast at the start of the season where a fan was like, this league's so much fun because we get to beat teams like QPR. We're beating them three times this season. And I have to say, I watched the last 15 minutes of Portsmouth and Hull at the weekend, and I was shouting at the TV because I really, really wanted it to happen. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be missed, and I hope it's a long time till they come back up again.
Yeah, and Aaron, as a Watford fan, you'll join in QPR fans' celebration, no doubt, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I think if you haven't seen some of the videos from the weekend, just go and have a look. I've just seen one today that I didn't realise. Even Tom Cleverley, who is like the most reserved man you'll ever see, was out in the pub celebrating them gone. I, for one, I know there's some fans that sort of go, "Oh, we want the derby." I couldn't give a toss. I'm so happy to see him gone. Don't have to go to Kenilworth Road next year. Happy days.
All right. Cheers, Aaron, for popping on and delivering that for us. We'll catch up with you in a second. Cheers, fella. No more Luton. But let's focus back on QPR, Michael. What's been the highlight of the season for you? If you can pick one moment that sticks in your mind. We've done homes and aways the last couple of weeks, but what's the 15 seconds gem that you'll remember?
I think for me it was, I know I've said it in a previous episode, but it was the away win against Cardiff. I think that was, and beating Luton 3 times as well. It's been a highlight. It's almost into one, because if we hadn't done the double on them, then they'd have stayed up. So It's nice to play our part.
Jared?
The Luton home win was nice. The Derby 4-0 win was good. I think one moment that was really, really nice was the Norwich home game where Ryan Colley came off on having been kind of bombed out, really. And he came on and scored two that day. And that was a really, really big win. It was nice to see a homegrown player come on and do so well. And just, it's been a season of very, very few kind of positive moments, really. So that one stands out.
Well, before we let you go over summer, we'll just say a massive thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed and commented on the channel over the last 39 weeks we've been running this. It's so hard to start a QPR content out when there's already so many great QPR podcasts out there, but we're delighted to have you along the journey with us. Last couple of bits to tidy up the season then. Michael, who do you want to see in the playoffs go up? Sorry.
Bristol City for me. I think the last time they were in the top flight was 1980. So it'd be good to see them back up there. Yeah,
Jared, do you agree?
Yeah, I think Bristol City or Coventry. I don't really like any of the four teams, to be honest. I think Sheffield United were so poor last season. And I think for what Liam Manning's been through, I think purely from that point of view, to go through such a tragic time with his family and to come out the other side and to achieve what they could achieve would be a really, really positive story and a great way for the championship season to end as well. And obviously they've got 3 ex QPR players. I've got no real bad feelings towards any of them. And yeah.
Okay. Right, final question then. Let's see if you can sum up the season in 3 words or 3 short phrases, if you can. Michael?
Uninspiring, injuries, and uncertain.
Jared, pretty good. Off the top of your head.
Glad it's over.
That's fair enough. Right. Well, as a reward for all your hard work, and thank you both of you for all your efforts, of course, on here as well, every single week coming on and talking honestly and passionately about your club. I massively enjoyed meeting up with you every single week, and we'll do it all over again at the end of June, all being well. Fingers crossed for a positive summer. When we do hear any manager news, of course, hopefully we'll be back and to give our views on that, so put your notifications on. And just a massive thank you, Jawad. A massive thank you, Michael. Hope you have a cracking summer with your respective families, and we'll see you in 2.5 months. Have a good one.
Cheers.